Mulika.
End the silence, end the cycle.
Our role in the Mulika campaign was to put together a concept and develop a strategy that would be implemented in addressing issues around rape and defilement and broadly sexual and gender-based violence. Before it became Mulika, it was Red Card, and then it was Too Pressed to Wait. During the Red Card campaign, Nairobi and Kakamega County were highlighted as top 3 in contributing to teenage pregnancies in Kenya. And so strategically, it would mean that these would be counties of priority to ignite change. The problem is the same, but how it manifests itself in Kayole, Nairobi, and how it manifests itself in Kakamega is interesting. Okay, so the girls in Nairobi are aware this is a problem and they're willing to talk about it. The girls in Kakamega are not aware, but at least they have structures that acknowledge there is a problem and are willing to step in and help. But the bottom line is the structures are not working across.
Before I started working for the campaign, it seemed I was far removed from the realities of sexual violence. And so working here and getting to interact with survivors and people who are in proximity to victims, it helped me to understand that sexual violence is real and sexual assault is real. And half the time, or rather 3/4 the time, victims don't get to live among the perpetrators, right? And that means they don't get justice. A case that stood out for me was a preacher who sexually assaulted, or rather defiled, a young child, 14-year-old. And this preacher went ahead to open more churches in different counties, and no one held him accountable.
So 3 things emerged. 1, access to information. 2nd, access to services. And 3rd, access to justice. So being able to put this into a concept that can be implemented by medical experts, legal experts, human rights advocates, and community leaders meant that we have everyone in the room contributing to that, and then me going back to refine all those contributions into something solid that is also practical and accessible for the communities. So one thing that really stood out to me during this entire process is the fact that there is a level of it happens. It happens. It has always been happening. We needed to have a creative approach that would engage young people as well as system players. Our strategy as Mulika was sports, stories, and sparks. So collecting stories from communities was an integral part of the campaign for us. And listening to the stories and being able to interview these young people who are so passionate about these issues and want to see a change.
3, 1, 2, 3, correction!
Sports was basketball in Nairobi through FEBA, an excellent basketball community hosted in Kayole, Komarok. This was a great avenue for raw conversations, real discussions, and kufungua roho really took place, giving us the authentic experience of young people in communities.
Actually, I was raped. When I get, me, I was raped personally. But me, at least, nikona, msieneza ongelesha. But a lot of people hawana huku nje.
And through basketball, we got to reach over 10,000 young people. For Kakamega was football. They also had an opportunity to talk about their experiences when it comes to rape and defilement. Unfortunately, the stories in Kakamega were very heartbreaking because incest is the driver for teenage pregnancies, and the girls end up being blamed. And while community leaders, the Liguru, alongside the chiefs and the Ngao, tried to do something about it, there's often backlash from different corners that makes it impossible for these children to access justice. The work has been very fulfilling. It has filled a part of me that I didn't even know was empty. I also realized that communications is a very important and integral part of what many civil society organizations are doing, what many non-governmental organizations are doing.
And so the Mulika campaign has helped me to understand that other than the survivors, there's family, there's friends, their neighbors, teachers, doctors, the police. Everyone has a role to play. Just because it doesn't happen to you doesn't mean it shouldn't be corrected. A problem is a problem. Whether it affects you directly or indirectly, it remains to be a problem. The work that we have put in together has made a difference. There are girls that are going to school because of the work we've done. There are girls that are accessing justice because of the work we've done. Our lives have been changed because of this work. And I want to believe that while change takes time, change needs to happen. We have done something, but a lot more should be done, and it just can't be us.
End the silence.
End the cycle.
End the silence.
End the cycle.
End the cycle.
End the silence.